Can you hear me? Talking, talking, talking. Yeah, this is fun. This is cool. We're here at negative 4.3 decibels. Cool, 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 cool. Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, we have transitions now. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, cool. I was also doing an audio test while I totally forgot that the mic was working and on, so I guess I could have been much worse. So, what is up, everybody? Give everybody a minute to kind of join in. We actually already have a good amount of viewers, so that's pretty fun. Thank you, everybody. You know, this is wow, 30 already. That's awesome. Yeah, posting on Facebook was a good idea. I'm happy I did that. So thank you for joining. Right off the bat, I'd like to say, since we probably do have a couple new viewers here, there's already names in here I've never seen before. So welcome. Please don't spam the chat. I will let you guys audio clipping lag. All right, hold on. We can figure this out. We have some gates to mess with. Oh no! No, no, no. See. I'm wondering if it's. Let me check this. Sounded good before the video came on. How is that sound now? Can you guys hear me okay now? The sound of silence. Okay. Joe, we always have a problem. Still jittery. No, yep, it's happening again. I don't know why. Well, is it the fan? Let's try this. Ah, how's that? I turned off some things, and we'll see, because we just can't. We can't have nice things. I'll wait for the chat to catch up. Yep. And yeah, I think it is still there. Oh, let's try this then. See how this works. How about that? How's that for audio? See if this works. Give it a second to turn over. Yeah, rip mic. About that echoes. Silence. Should be working. Still choppy. Still bad, just louder. I'm really curious on what it is because I only have one audio input running. Uh, we were having some serious audio difficulties. So I'm gonna
I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. Another mic. I'm sorry guys, I tested everything and apparently wasn't cooperating. Let's try that, or all that. Have the audio up there. This. I don't know sign language. You try turning it off and on again. How's that now? Yep. Sure, people are tuning out because this is a catastrophe. 6 minutes of fixing the microphone. That's just crappy. Sorry. Yes, let's just look at that for the whole time. All of the day. If I reboot the PC, I lose the whole stream. Nope, this is the same thing. So, what's it sound like now, though? That's what someone's giving me feedback on that one. Feel pretty bad. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think I just fixed our problem. I think I figured it out. I hope. Or else I'm not really going to know what to do here. And I don't want to cancel the stream for this.
Now, let's try that. Okay, let's try that. Now, how's it sound? It just got worse. It sounded like Jarvis when being murdered by Ultron. Something is working, yeah. Echo and choppy. I really, I'm actually kind of lost here, guys. I don't know why it's doing this time. And I really apologize for this. We're good? We're good? We're good? Ah! I don't know. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Okay. Okay. All right. This is the whole live stream. I'm not going to turn anything on. I'm not going to power anything up. My chat just started blowing up. Wait. So that's good. Hey, Miss Kayla, if you're in the chat and hearing me, is there any way you could open that door, that one, and maybe set up a fan to blow air in? Because I feel like if I turn that one on with the transformer, it's just going to mess everything up. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. That only took 10 minutes to fix. Appreciate it. It's already getting hot in here. Welcome to the live stream. 10 minutes late because I'm a failure at life, and there are 38 of you watching me embarrass myself. So yeah, that's fun. Got a little bit better of a live stream setup here. This is what I wanted to do last week when I was like, oh, that would have been a good idea. I just didn't think of it. But I have a table set out. Obviously, I'm a little bit farther away from the desk. I got some goodies set up, and there's a lot I want to talk about. Now you're asking too much. Yeah, clearly I'm asking too much. Back to the stream. Everyone like the video. This thing probably just got so many dislikes from that catastrophe. So if you disliked it for that, maybe like it because it's fixed now. Yeah. Alex Field, I did not spell either of them wrong. They are just two different. They are spelled two different ways. Go ahead, hop on Google. You'll learn something. I learned something today about how to spell do's and don'ts, and it made me hate English way more. So that's fun. Yeah, the suit looks beautiful. Wait. Thank you. That was so bad.
I need something else I'm getting to.
Huh? Yeah, no, it's a UK. Oh, hey, didn't... Oh, wait, yeah, it needs to be a transformer. Yeah. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll suffer. Don't worry. She is working there in the background, guys. Working hard. Behind the scenes. Ha, 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 ha. So I was right before in the Discord. You were right and wrong, Alex. English spelling, yeah, it's a little bit of that, and it's a little bit of it's just confusing because don't is already a contraction, and you're putting a pluralization on a contraction, which you shouldn't do, because we wouldn't say can'ts. I can't do that, you know. But you can say the don'ts, like you're making it a noun. It's weird. Yep. So, okay, where to begin? I have a sticky note, guys. I got rid of all my scenes and stuff, but I don't want to bring them back. So I don't think we're going to be able to go over Cura today because I had a window open for Cura, and it was either, it might have been that doing it. So I only have one window, this window and audio open. So I'm going to troubleshoot the studio mode a little bit better. So I apologize for that. So maybe next time we can do that. So we're not going to get to see the Cura demonstration of stable G-code. Yeah, all your usernames are messed up. Between your Instagram names, your YouTube names, and your Discord names, you all use different things, and it's really annoying. But I'm one to talk because my my Reddit name is different, so that's fun too. All right, so we can close this out because now I don't need to use OBS really. I can leave that. We can close out Cura by Cura. I don't really need that. So let's open this, and we can pretty much maximize this thing now. Hey, you figured it out. Thank you. I think a husky just walked into the room. Actually, I guess we do need this. I spoke too soon. Yep. Blue, if you knock that suit over, we're gonna fight. There'll actually be a fist fight. Hey, look, husky. Still better than NJ Trickster, and you spelled my username wrong, so that's fun too. Peter, I agree with you. It looks terrible. I hate it, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not in the wrong spot. If anybody at any point sees that start to tip over, let me know, even though there's so much of a delay. Sorry, sneezed. Jeet's not in the chat yet, so he can't get a screenshot. That would make this video go viral. You're not kidding. Just
Hey, Frank.
yes.
Can I unplug this?
Permanently? I guess we're gonna have to. We'll live. I'll be alright. Make the call. Cool. Can you please show us your husky? Blue, come here. Oh, you can't. He's blocked by the fan, guys. I'm sorry. He will never be able to get in. I'll never be able to get out. Yep, he's in there. Oh, fan. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, Blue. Hey, bud. Hi. Yeah, we're gonna take a little. We haven't even started the stream. This is the husky, and I'm wearing a black shirt, so you all better appreciate this. This is Blue. Hi, bud. Hey, buddy. This is the whole stream. He's actually going to teach you guys about 3D printing. Level your goddamn beds. That does it for this stream. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. I'm covered in fur now.
Hello.
Belle, go. Get. Don't let the dog touch anything. Bless you. Cute, and he knows something about printing. Oh, I can feel it on my legs, and it's great. That's nice. And the Sheba's down here somewhere. She's like under here, can't get to her. Anyway, we're 15 minutes in, and nothing's gotten done here. They do need their own Instagram. I've thought about that, but I don't know if I want to be that guy. Let's talk about 3D printing, okay? Because that's kind of why we're here. But first, I've already been talking, and I got really nervous about this chat not working, or this stream not working, so my mouth is dry. Cool. So I'm covered in fur and I'm wearing a black shirt. First off, real quick, shout out to Creality for sending me the weirdest shirt I've ever got. This is pretty nice. Pretty cool. Little standard, 6th anniversary. That's why it's called the CR6, in case no one got that. Yeah. But then, there's more. Can anybody figure this out? Who's Kuva? And why is he farting? Oh, he's actually saying, hey you, out of his butt. I just realized that. Wow, Superman. Thanks, Reality. Thanks. So, yeah, they sent this to me like 2 or 3 months ago after my first live stream with them. It just showed up. Shipping from China has been whack. Yeah, if you've ever been to Asia, Japan, China, that makes way more sense. Just saying. Especially if you've been to Japan. That shirt makes way more sense. No idea what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, I mean, we're weirdos too in our own sense. Cool. So, common problems out of box. Let's actually put this stream to use. Super Fartman. Yes. So I have some things here. I got some helmets. We're going to play around with these later. Pick a card, any card. I need to get a tablecloth for this because that sound is very... Yeah, that's loud. Ooh. They do have good printers. They do. Yep. Cool. So this is an Ender 3. It's currently not working for me right now because I'm using it for this live stream. I say that like my other ones are. My other ones are turned off too. That might be a bad idea. No, it's not a bad idea. Hold on. I gotta plug something in real quick. You guys can still hear me while I'm under the desk. This is it. Just stare at the Mark 85 and don't ask questions. Just shut up and color, Isn't that what all the cool kids say? And I'm back. What's up? Just wanted to plug my Ender in so this actually can turn on and work. And we're going to power it on. And either it's going to blow a fuse and we're going to completely lose the stream, or it's going to power on. Yes. Whew. Whew, that would have been funny. What's up, Super Fartman? Cool. So this is an Ender 3, and if you've ever dealt with any Creality printers, you probably automatically know, yeah, I don't think they'll make it in the shirt business, you're right. I'm going to ignore the chat for a little bit because you guys are distracting, so please save any questions for later. But as some of you probably know, I'm really bad at ignoring the chat, so we'll see how that goes. So you got your first Creality printer, and this applies to the artillery, artillery, TiVo, maybe a little bit less TiVo, because TiVo is a much more DIY printer than the Creality printers. So typically if you build it, you have a better understanding of what the printer is. The problem with the market now shifting to these DIY or these out-of-box printers, right? You built this, but you didn't build this. I hope that makes sense. You didn't put all of the belts on. You didn't build the entire frame and power supply. You didn't plug in all the wires. You didn't assemble the hot end. Now, the Enders build a little bit more DIY than the CR10s. The CR10s, especially the Pros, it's platform, gantry, bolt, plug, on. The Pros are 95% built right out of the box. The Enders, 50? 50 is a good number, I'd say. So what's happening is you have the people who started in the hobby, correct? The people who built the Annets, the TiVos, the straight up DIY making their own 3D printers. And they understand every nut and bolt of this. They understand the telemetry and the X, Y, Z, the coordinates, what should be level, what shouldn't be. But now you're starting to get people who buy this $200, sometimes $180 hobbyist printer. This isn't really a DIY printer anymore. It's a hobbyist printer. Now, I know some of you jump into this hobby expecting it to work like a microwave. Plug it in, turn it on, go. We're not there yet. Soon, hopefully. I'm hoping in the next 5-10 years. Maybe we'll get there. But the problem is, a lot of people are getting into this hobby who aren't ready to get into this hobby. And that doesn't mean they can't learn, but they're not looking to be 3D printer enthusiasts. They're looking to make stuff for something else. I got into this hobby to make this. It was means to an end. I am not a 3D printer. I don't go for the perfect print. I don't go for the, man, I want my printer to be the fastest and everything moves quick and it's the perfect layer, blah, blah. I don't really care. That's why I have minimal upgrades on all my printers, because they just work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, it doesn't resonate with everybody, and I get that. To me, this is a tool in the cosplay prop making section, okay? This is just a tool, just like a saw, a drill, whatever, a lathe. It's a CNC, let's be honest here. So people are having trouble understanding, you know, what's going wrong with the printer. They're not looking at it mechanically because you're not expecting it to. So you get it out of the box and you build it, and you're automatically having problems because there's a lot of these made in China very quickly. Quality control, literally, from as far as I'm concerned, is probably they turn the damn thing on, make sure it powers on. Maybe they do a really quick, like, auto home. Can you hear this? Alright, the end stops click. Okay, I can see the audio thing bouncing. So you get it out of box, and it's having issues already. I want to kind of go over real quick just some of the common problems you'll see, because Creality is a very much growing brand. And before I start moving everything around like a jerk, I'm going to disable the steppers. Actually, yeah, cool. So now we can move this around. Anytime you want to do this and move things around and play with your printer and, you know, disable your steppers, please, because it's going to turn off any of the power to it, and I still wouldn't suggest doing this while it's plugged in. Do as I say, not as I do. So this is a normal Ender 3. I just want to skim the chat real quick, just to make sure, see if there's anything. And it took like, just got an Iron Man faceplate done, and it took 30 hours. Dayton White, you are doing something wrong. I am sorry. Yeah, that's long for a faceplate. Anyway, okay, cool. Where is the thing here? Cool, awesome. So, this video gets me every time, and you guys have, I promise you've seen it. You'll see a video. I'm gonna move this right here. Please don't unplug. All right, yeah, we got some slack here. They'll grab their nozzle, right? Their hot end, and they'll wobble it back and forth. Now, I'm gonna do something that's gonna give you, some of you, anxiety. And you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That's not it. There it is. Does anything about that look normal out of the box? Like, imagine this a car tire, right? A car tire spins one direction, left and right. And if you were to grab your car tire and do that, would you be like, man, that looks normal? Or would you be like, no, there's something wrong there? So before asking for help, maybe look at the problem. Diagnose the problem. All right, there's 3 wheels here, 2 riding on the top. But then if you look underneath it and you do any type of research, you'll know that there's an eccentric nut. And what that means is that it's a hex nut, and the hole isn't in the middle. It's kind of cocked over to the side. So as it spins around an axis, it's going to tighten and put pressure on this. Yeah, it looks perfectly fine. So I'm going to put the wrench. It's the big side of the double end that comes with every Creality printer. And just start wobbling it, tighten it a little, wobble it, tighten it a little, wobble, tighten it a little, rinse and repeat. Whoa, 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 whoa. No more wobble, look at that. But it still moves left and right like it should, right? These are the loose things that are going to come with your printer. These are the things you're going to want to look for. And this actually jumps into the other thing I want to talk about, tuning your printer. Your G-code wants to make that thing you told it to make. Your G-code wants to make this. Stock G-code, we're not going to talk about messing with your G-code and messing with your settings and, oh my God, profiles. Don't get me started on asking for profiles. You have your G-code, you throw it in your SD card, wherever the hell it might be, there it is. SD card, right? You throw it in your SD card, and your G-code wants to tell the printer to make this thing exactly how you see it in the program. What's the limiting differential factor here? It's your printer. It's not the G-code, especially if you Cura has gotten really good with stock settings. S3D has always been pretty good with it. Don't use Creality Slicer. Just don't. Yeah. So you have to think about it this way. The G-code is going to tell the printer to do everything it needs to do. It wants your nozzle, your x-axis, to move left and right. It doesn't want it to move forward and back, right? Imagine if I'm building up layers like this. One dimension, right? My finger is one layer, and it prints it, right? Prints it, done. It's going to move up to the Z. It's going to print the next layer. It's going to print it, and then it's going to move up. It's going to print it. It's going to move up. Now, if this isn't wobbling back and forth, all 4 of those layers should be perfectly stacked on each other. But now if your gantry is wobbling back and forth, guess what's going to happen? You're starting to get layer lines. And this is probably the biggest culprit of layer lines. It's your gantry wobbling back and forth. And it's not just this gantry, it's also your bed. Stop making noise. My fan's coming loose. It's old. It's not old. I'm gonna turn you off, I swear. What? Oh, stop. Cool. Okay. Anyway, so you have to think about your gantry wobbling back and forth, moving in an axis that the printer doesn't want it to. The printer assumes that it's going to only move this way. The printer assumes your bed's only going to move in and out. But now if your bed is wobbling left and right, back and forth, it's not going to be able to do that. So what you kind of have to do is go through your printer, make sure everything's only moving in the direction it wants to. A notorious problem with the Ender 3s is the fact that it only has one Z lead screw on the Z axis, right? And you can kind of, right here. So here's our lead screw, all right? The fan is alive. MacGyver could fix it with bubblegum and a paperclip. This thing was made out of a bubblegum and a paperclip. So the Z gantry, as it moves up, it only has one screw dictating it going up and down, right? So what can happen naturally is it's gonna wanna kind of tilt and come undone. Now there are upgrades you can get to actually adding 2 Z screws. You can get these sync kits. The CR10S kind of already solved this problem. Actually the CR10 line, it has 2 lead screws, but only one of them is powered. The CR10S, yeah, cool, it moves up, but they can get out of sync. That's a whole other problem for another day, but it's not typically too much of a problem anymore. It was a big problem with the CR10s. The S's are much better. The V2s are even better. The Pros, they don't really fall out of sync. So as your Z gantry kind of moves up, it can kind of list and wobble a little bit. There's also an eccentric nut right here, sitting right here on the wheel that travels on the inside of your frame. There's also a nut in there that helps keep the bearing wheels locked into this part of the frame. So you want to make sure this is tight too. If you can grab this, and so if I force it, you can see it moving up and down just a little. But realistically, it's moving my printer way more than it's moving. Now, if I start to loosen this eccentric nut, and I believe the other one, where is it? Oh, this side. Oh, sorry, this side doesn't. Yeah, right there, right there. So if those are messed up and your gantry's kind of wobbling left and right, back and forth, just tighten those up. Try to get it as tight as possible. But what I would suggest doing is turning off your printer. Wait for power down, power down, power down. And then you can actually unplug the stepper motor. And if you unplug your stepper motor, you'll notice that this moves way quicker because it's not backfeeding power back into the printer. I'm sure you've all seen this and you've all done this and wondered, oh my God, that's such a cool effect. Watch my screen. Yeah, don't do that. It's bad for the printer. So if you unplug, so right now I can go and unplug my Z or my X. It's not making that whining noise anymore. It's not spinning that motor anymore. So I'll break the thing so you don't have to, right? Taking your time to kind of look over your printer and understand how it works. This will be your best asset into getting into this hobby. If your printer isn't working right, just smack it. Facts. Too many people just jump into the programming and G-code, and this actually kind of goes back to the noobs versus the pros. The original people who got into the original people who got into the printer, who actually built their printers, who know their printers in and out. So when you post that you're having layer shifts and adhesion problems, and you had you're having these really actual basic problems, what people who have been doing this for too long see, unfortunately, instinctively, they kind of see it as, well, it can't, his bed must be level. Everything on his printer must be tight because, I know how to do that. So, well, they should know too because they're in the same hobby. And it's nothing against them. They've just been doing it for so long. It's hard for them to relate back to maybe, their gantry is loose. Maybe they are having a clog. So I see people, Facebook's bad with this. All of you are probably in some of the Facebook groups and you've seen it. There's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of that misinformation just comes from some people doing it too long. They have trouble looking back at those basic problems now, where it really might be that something's just loose. And it sucks, but being able to kind of look at these printers, you can't assume that they're going to work perfectly out of box. You did build them a little bit. There's a Shiba. You can see her right there. Hold on. There she is. We'll take a Shiba break real quick. Hi, Maya. What, you trying to get out? I think she's trying to get out of the room. Come here. Want to go outside? Go ahead. Don't you try to come back in now. She'll try to come back in like 5 minutes. You watch. Yeah. So aside from that, the printer's going to work. You're going to tune everything. You're going to make sure everything's tight. There is, on the Creality printers, on a lot of the SD cards now, they actually come with an instructional video instead of the paper video. or the paper video, the paper instruction sheet. However, the instruction sheet on the Ender 3 was probably some of the best instructions I've ever seen for a 3D printer. I was actually very impressed with the amount of color photos and the parts breakdowns for it. So good on them. My CR10 did not have those. I'm 29 minutes late. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I feel like we're talking about vampires, the originals versus the fledglings. Yes. Had some audio issues. I actually saw a post on Reddit about stored power. I lulled people now about motors that much, I guess. Doge. It's wild Doge. She did not want to watch you break the printer. Okay. Cool. So out of box, yeah. So things are going to be loose. You're going to have to level your bed. I'm not going to spend too long on leveling your bed. I can't. I just don't have it in me. A level bed really is probably 99% of the problems you're going to have, aside from adhesion. When your extruder motor starts clicking and popping, oh my god, what's happening? It's probably because you're too close to your bed, which then can lead to a nozzle clog, a nozzle blowout, or your extruder gear skipping. And we're going to talk about dual drive extruders because that seems to be a more and more common problem with Creality putting them on all of their goddamn printers, which is really annoying because I hate dual drive extruders, but we'll get to that. So look over the printer, understand how it works, understand your belts. Your belts shouldn't be guitar strings, but by no means should you be able to move them so fast that you can actually see them skip the gears in there. You shouldn't be, a good rule of thumb is if you can actually get your belt and actually maneuver it over this bearing right here, it's probably too loose. So all you're gonna do is loosen those two screws and kind of push it out and get it so it's just tight enough. And I can actually still pull my belt out just a little, but it's not guitar string tight because that's how you snap a belt. I haven't snapped a belt yet. I don't want to snap a belt, so let's not snap a belt. Aside from that, the Ender works pretty good right out of box. I didn't have any issues with it. The only thing I did was fry the power supply and motherboard immediately after buying it. Make sure you turn the switch to 120 to 220, and then if you live in a house like this in England where I have both American and UK sockets in the wall, make sure you remember what you had it set to last time and switch it over. Yeah, that was fun. Cool. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to learn about this for my stuff for Loki, as we talked about on Instagram. Oh, cool. Awesome. Hopefully that'll help you. All right. So that's kind of the little out-of-box problems. Those are really some of the only problems I've ran into with the Creality printers, and a lot of the printers you're probably going to deal with nowadays. And hopefully Creality is starting to fix some of them. Will they actually continue? The fact that they're still shipping printers with the old Bowden tubes and fully plastic extruders kind of sucks. I haven't looked into the Ender 3 V2 yet to see what they've upgraded. If somebody wants to put in what they actually upgraded, I'd love to know. I just haven't looked at it yet. It's a little expensive, and this thing is still an absolute beast of a workhorse. So let's move on to some other things like upgrades and troubleshooting failures. This is a hot end, in case none of you have ever actually seen it or actually opened up your printer. So I have a spare one, because it's always good to have a spare one of these. Now, you guys have probably seen nozzle blowouts, right? Or nozzle clogs. Your nozzle's clogged. Nozzle clogs, I hate the terminology of that, because I see a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll have a nozzle clog, right? And then they'll go and just put a new nozzle on it. Well, why did that nozzle clog? Were you sitting here with pieces of metal or rocks and feeding it into your extruder? Like, what could have possibly gotten into this system to clog your nozzle? The only thing in this system is plastic, mostly, unless you're printing with carbon fibers and woods and all that, and you should know what you're doing then. So what got introduced into that system? What changed in the time that your filament went from your extruder and tried to come out of your nozzle? What happened there? And understanding the whole process of what's going on here can really help you kind of troubleshoot and understand what's actually going on with it. So you have your heat block, right? And this is pretty common on most printers. I feel a sneeze coming, so I'm trying to fight it, and I'm not going to be able to. Whew! I hate that. So this is your heat block, right? And then you have your, well, it'll look like this. I'll hold it the right way so you guys can actually understand what the hell I'm talking about. So you have your little heat sink here, and what this is doing, this is what your fan's actually blowing air through. Because as this gets up to 200 degrees Celsius, 200, 220, 180, whatever the hell you're printing with, almost 400 degrees Fahrenheit, heat rises, right? We all know that, hopefully. heat rises, and it's going to want to rise up. And then this is where your filament is, right? It goes all the way through there. I have dog fur in my mouth. That's fun. So it travels up, and this heat sink right here, the air is getting blown through it to cool it down, so the heat doesn't move too far up into your tube. Well, unfortunately, the heat is still going to move up into your tube. And what it's going to do, it's going to actually start to wear down this Bowden tube, because these white Bowden tubes kind of suck. And between the constant heat cycles affecting your Bowden tube here, and then the constant pushing and pulling on your extruder, and I'm sure some of you could probably even go look at your printers and watch it while you're printing, and as long as you have any type of a retraction set, you're going to actually see this Bowden tube moving in and out, back and forth from this coupler, and slowly over time, it's actually going to end up popping right out, and that's just not good. My friend just said you sound like Stark teaching kids on how to make an Iron Man suit. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. If I can get all of you to actually go out and like make an Iron Man suit, do it. I've won. The V2 has a new frame, new screen, tempered glass bed, axis tensioner. The axis tensioner is that's the first good thing that there's built-in toolbox. Silent board, all right, number 2, rotary knob on the extruder, and an updated resume system. So there's only 3 viable good upgrades there. Yeah, well, that's fun. Cool. Anyway, so what happens here? You're not going to get a nozzle clog because your extruder did something weird. Your extruder is going to extrude. It's going to continuously push filament through. What's going to cause a clog or a blowout is this not being built. Yeah, it is annoying, huh, Mark? It's going to be your hot end. So either, let's take this apart. Let's see. Actually, how far down does this go? This goes about right there. Try to make a little mark. Oh, hi, Mark. And I'm never going to use this white tube, so I really don't care about nicking it. All right. So, and I already lost the mark. There it is. 3D printing the Iron Legion. You are not wrong. So this tube travels that far into my, where is it? There's the mark. Yep, hold on, that's too far. Kicking my ass. There it is. So that's how far this tube travels into your hot end. A lot of people think it only goes in a little bit. It only goes into your extruder side like that much. You know, I'm trying to contrast it on my black shirt. Hey, look, that's smart. So it goes in about that far. Pretty far, actually. And what happens is that's really, really close to your hot end. And this crappy white tube just can't take the constant heat. And what happens is it starts to melt and it starts to get bowed out. And what eventually will start to happen from the hot and cold cycles, it's going to start to actually creep up. It's actually going to start to work its way out and lift up a little bit. And what that's going to do, that's going to end up making a gap right in here between your nozzle. And where is my socket set? Do yourself a favor, get a socket with an 8mm, get a wrench with an 8mm socket on it, and it's the perfect size for the Creality nozzles, and you'll never strip out another nozzle. Look at that. Comes right off. See that? That's the Bowden tube going all the way through the hot end. There's nothing in between this. The tip of your Bowden tube touches the back of your nozzle. And already, this is right from the factory, this Bowden tube. And I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not cut square. Right from the factory. That Bowden tube will not sit flush on the end of my nozzle. We can use my cheek here. Yeah, look at that. So right off the bat, I have to cut that down and flush that up. Well, it's probably going to do it again. It's going to heat, it's going to warp, it's going to get messed up. These white Bowden tubes suck. I hate them. Get yourself a Capricorn tube, a PTFE Capricorn tube. Some Creality printers come with them. Some don't. Upgrade them. It's probably the only upgrade I would say just get out of the box, because this is going to cause you more headache than it's worth. It's not worth it at all. So you have that tube, okay? Now, this is going to screw in, and there's actually going to be something that stops it that I want to actually explain for a second here. Now, I should be able to get it to work. Yeah, there was actually a bunch of crud and dust in there. Yeah, it should pop out. Please hold. Ah, I think I just stripped it out. I just broke my own rule. Oh no, we're good. We're good, guys. We're in business. We're gonna break apart a hot end so you all can see it and understand what the hell I'm talking about, and hopefully you'll leave a little bit smarter. That's the 10, yeah. Cool. All right, so I just took some screws out. So that's where my nozzle went, right? See this metal tube that's screwed in there? I'm not gonna be able to get this out because it was never removed. Oh boy, that is in there. Oh, I don't like how in there that is. Watch me strip this live on camera. Yep, can't get it out. Wow, you're friggin' in there. Wow. This is actually a really well-built hot end. I'm actually really impressed. So, I think I just broke the thermocouple. Whatever. So, yeah, wow. Oh. Anyway. So, see this? This can actually screw in as much as you want it to on most hot ends. Well, this one's really, really, really tight. Yeah, it'll be fine. Anyway, I can't heat it up right now. I'll burn myself. So, this will screw in. You can, if this was hot, I could continuously screw that in. And then what would happen is this nozzle, they need to touch each other. So what's going to happen inside the hot end? Ooh, that's annoying. So these are actually going to touch, and they're going to meet each other. And then it's going to be one continuous thread, not being able to have a gap or anything, okay? Now, sometimes you might get a hot end where this isn't screwed down all the way. It's only kind of haphazardly screwed in there. And then the actual nozzle will screw in too far. If your nozzle can sit flush on the hot ends like that, I would actually try to adjust it and actually get this to screw in even farther. Let's see if I can get it down there more. There we go. Yep, perfect. So I've worked in the threads. So now, just get a micro sauce. Nah. So now you can actually see that the nozzle isn't all the way down against the block. So that means it's pushed up and flush against this little metal rod right here. So now the only thing that can let filament pass, actually leak out, is this Bowden tube that goes all the way down and hits the bottom of the nozzle. So that's right there. That little area, those little gaps and those little clearances are probably the biggest culprit to nozzle blowouts and clogs. So understanding how your hot end works, and then hey, say you get a clog, say you get you have a little bit of an issue, and your extruder motor's skipping and filament's not coming out. It's actually pretty easy to fix, and a lot of people will just go and immediately try to swap around their nozzle without fixing the actual problem, without fixing their tube. And I found a really good little trick to do is you have your little your hot end here, cut off a little bit of extra tube, and I don't know if this one's long enough. Yeah, that one's definitely not long enough. Extra tube, and push this down in there. So now I have, it's almost like a little direct drive setup. So now what you can do is you can troubleshoot this. You can heat this up. Imagine if this is still connected right there, all right? Then you can go and take filament and actually force it through with your hand like the extruder would. And if you're not getting any filament coming out of here, even after you've rebuilt it and repaired it, a lot of people don't know this. This little styrofoam, or this little foam block that came with a needle, that you probably had no idea what it did because they don't really explain it to you. This is to clean your nozzle out. And what you can do is actually stick it either side, and it'll actually go there and actually clean. After the live stream, check out his other video. Cool. Good pitch. And thread the needle. Thread it. Thread it. Cool. Damn, there's a 1mm nozzle on this thing. That's actually impressive. So that's actually a good little nozzle cleaner. And you can actually, there's a little bit of crud in there and it's not hot. but you can stick that through, try to clear out any of the gunk that's in there. Maybe there is something in there, but it's just getting that little bit of extra opening so filament can start flowing through again. And I would pop that out. And I can't pick this thing up on the table. And then you can then feed the needle back through, and you can see it just barely coming out there. And don't stab yourself because this thing is really sharp. Yeah, there it is. Cool. And you can actually use it to free up and clean out the nozzle. And then you know that any blockages are gone. You went back in there, you actually got the Bowden tube nice and flush, put it back in there, that's good to go. And you have everything good. If you have a tube blowout, and some of you might have even seen this, where I've never seen a Bowden tube pop off the hot end, but a Bowden tube pops off your extruder. Your extruder coupler, these little things, it's probably broke. There's teeth in there to help lock the tube together. And if it got blown out, it probably took those teeth with it. Sometimes these white Bowden tubes will blow out and not actually take the teeth with them. But if you had a Capricorn tube blow out, the harder PTFE plastic, those teeth are gone. Actually, I have a leftover one, and let's see. There's nothing in there. This was for my Max. My Max had 2 blowouts. 2 blowouts in a day because of a dual drive extruder. And the reason I hate dual drive extruders, and I'm going to talk while I reassemble this real quick. A dual drive extruder, say you have a clog, right? And you're printing and you're printing and you have a clog, that's great. Right now on this, on a stock Creality printer with a plastic, I have one, with a plastic extruder arm, right? With only spring tension and 1 extruder gear spinning. Same with the all metal. It's the same thing, just metal, it won't crack. Say your Bowden tube slips, your nozzle's too close to your bed. For some reason, filament can't flow through your hot end. The extruder's pushing it, it's pushing it, it's pushing it. The weakest point in that system is typically the extruder gear and that bearing pushing on itself, and the extruder gear is trying to push filament through, but it's skipping, pop, 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 pop. You've all heard this. You've all probably seen this happen, where it's that pop, pop, pop. And yes, Brian, you're right. There is a hot end fix, Luke Hatfield's hot end fix. If somebody wants to link that video, that's a very good. It involves adding a little washer in the hot end, and if that's the one you're talking about, the little hot end washer fix, very, very handy. Or you can cut your Bowden tubes nice and flush, and you won't have that problem. Yeah, craziness. So that's all tight. That's all tight. All right, so your extruder gear is skipping because it wants to push filament through, but it can't. A dual drive extruder does not skip, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot for a dual drive extruder to skip. But because the gears, there's the 2 heads that are pushing the filament. Underneath them, there's gears linking it together. So it's not a bearing just carrying the filament through. Hey, thanks for the link. Awesome. Those dual drive extruders are going to spin. Your extruder motor is going to make that filament go through. It then changes the failure point. Your nozzle's not going to suddenly pop off. There's a lot more Bowden tube going through your hot end right here. It's most likely going to fail right here. And if you've ever had this Bowden tube pop out and just come out, you can see right where it initially started, the first couple inches of filament that's going to start blowing out and making your spaghetti are crushed and mauled with just the extruder teeth, because the teeth are just pushing it and mauling it, and eventually it's just the teeth in there are going to give out and your tube's going to pop off. Now, I don't know about you, I'd rather come in to my room or a print room, whatever, and see a ghosted print. You know, the print just stopped halfway, and then the rest, you know, the printer thinks it did a good job, but it didn't. It's a good boy. To spaghetti. Because spaghetti can then clog and fall into your gear. A spaghetti catastrophe can be really bad. And I'm not talking about spaghetti from the hot end. I'm talking spaghetti from your extruder. Unfortunately, if it's happened, it sucks. I've only had one happen, and it was on my Max, and I was in the room when both of them happened, and I was able to save the print. So that was kind of fun. Do not recommend. I gave it a bad Yelp review. So that's one troubleshooting problem, and typically a lot of those problems are going to stem from your bed being on level, which understand what your level bed is doing. And I'm not really going to talk too much about the build surfaces, because there's just so much debate about them. I love my magnetic beds. I will never go back to anything else, but there are other options Some people swear by their glass beds. This is a glass bed for my CR10 that pretty much came warped as it was. Tried everything to get it to work, couldn't get it to work. So somebody recommended the glass, I went for it. This is the fiberglass bed with the little sticker on it to this ender, and it worked great. I actually didn't have a reason to upgrade the magnetic bed, but there was a good sale on Amazon, and I'm like, why not? So I can swap this back whenever I want. I don't actually even need to take the magnetic sticker off. I can just put that back on. Sneeze number 2, folks. Number 3, and I grant a wish. All right, so that. All right, cool. What do we go over? We go over some troubleshooting failures. What other, real quickly, what other failures, and those glass beds are crap. They are crap. What other failures have you guys had on your printers? I could address some of the questions that are in the chat right now to answer some of your kind of newbie questions. See, you guys have been staying really quiet while I've been doing this. I do appreciate that. You guys haven't been blowing up the chat. Only my mods have been blowing up the chat, so thanks for that, for distracting me, all you jerks. So hit me with some questions real quick, and we'll transition to the next segment, which is going to be, so we got that, troubleshooting. We can't do making stable G-code. I apologize for that. I really do. So this can be the common noob questions. And then we kind of covered tuning your printer already. And just understanding the printer itself. I want to talk about understanding upgrades. I want to talk to you guys about when you should upgrade, when you shouldn't, why you should ignore everybody on Facebook when they tell you to get friggin' upgrades before you even have the damn printer. Oracle, you weren't late. You can rewatch it. Damn, okay. Leveling gives perfect 0.1 millimeter prints, but fails at 0.2. Justin Vandenhoek. Leveling gives perfect 0.1 millimeter. So why does it fail? Could that be an adhesion problem, or is it a collision problem? Are you watching the nozzle sweep and hit the actual the print? Examining your failed prints can tell you a lot about your printer. I have oh damn, I don't. It's in the garage being painted. I have a broken faceplate that failed, and there's actually a clear mark right in the top where my nozzle collided from it because my raft started to lift up, tilted the faceplate over. It actually ended up tilting the faceplate over, and this side got a little bit taller, and my nozzle came and just heated and knocked the whole thing off. So you might walk into spaghetti, but if you take the time to pull off all that spaghetti off your print and look at what went wrong, it's a really good way to try to diagnose what's going wrong with your printer. I definitely recommend you trying that, because nobody wants to walk into a failed print, but if it failed once, and if you're not positive why it happened, it's very likely that it's going to fail again. And nobody wants 2 failed prints, because that's the sign of the apocalypse. So let's get rid of some of your hot ends. So hopefully you guys understand hot ends a little bit more. I know I went on a little bit of a tirade about the actual hot end, but it's an important part. It's your hot glue gun. It's what makes your printer work. It is the end game. If it's not working right, your shit won't work right. So what if your bed is leveled and your nozzle is nice distance from the bed? What else could cause a Bowden blowout? Well, Chris, like I said, that dual drive extruder, your coupler's being too worn. If nothing's clicking or popping and it is extruding, then it's probably a fitment issue. Yeah, thanks, Kayla. Well, you saw my photo on Facebook. I have problems, all right. Stringing. I can't talk much about stringing because I don't give a shit about stringing. I don't care. I sand. You have stringing, get a heat gun. Now, if you're not sanding and painting your prints, that's a temperature issue. That's a retraction issue. That's something you kind of need to look into and dial in. There's a lot of information out there about stringing. I personally don't give a crap about it because I sand all my stuff. And yeah, I'm not the authority on stringing. I can't be. What patterns do you use to make resistant pieces? Jorge Serrano Sanchez? You mean infill patterns? Gyroid. Gyroid infill. Tony Stark will agree with me. Gyroid infill is amazing. None of this suit is print. Ooh, kidding. The helmet is printed with gyroid infill. It is super strong. Do you want to know how strong it is? This is gyro. This is a sword, thin, right? Not pretty thin. That's gyroid. Watch me smack the suit, right? This handle is 10% gyroid infill, and then the blade is 5% gyroid infill. And it's fused in 1, 2, 3 spots. This was a failed print. It was supposed to be 3 spots. And then there's a metal rod going here to here. It's strong. Gyroid infill is... Now, the metal rod stops here. I'm not trying to bend metal, but it's very, very strong. If you don't have Cura, when did gyroid infill pop in? Was it Cura 4.6? Or was it earlier than that? I think it was 4.4 maybe? Yeah. Kind of funny that almost every problem you just explained, I experienced. Hey, Mark. Yep. We went through a lot, dude. Mark, troubleshooting your printer? Oh. Whew. Is there a good way to transition between 2 rolls of filament mid-print? Hey, Travis. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. We're going to get back to that. Yes, there is a great way to transition between... Because there's no filament runout sensor on an ender, right? Cool. Just ordered a 10S Max just because I saw how awesome your build was coming out. Yeah, Paul, it is. Leveling gives you perfect scrapes print. I will. How about... use magnet levitation and springs for the whole bed? That'd be pretty cool, actually. Some PLA causes issues. Yes, so the actual filament itself can cause stringing or dust or problems. So that's a thank you for saying that. Now I want some spaghetti. Go make some spaghetti. I use glue sticks, a hair dryer, too close to the bed. My laptop updated itself, so I missed out a bit. Hey, it's gonna be saved. Don't worry. Gyroid is king. Is gyroid infill worse for your printer? No, it's not, but it makes the bed move more. All right, I want to talk about 2 things real quick, so hold your questions. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, you know a lot more than a lot of people do just because of the problems that V2 gave you, and I'm sorry you got a lemon. Travis Smith, is there a good transition between rolls of filament? I don't hit pause on my prints. I've had too many prints fail. These printers get weird sometimes. You'll pause a print, hit resume, and it like stops the print. Weird stuff happens. So what I'll do is without a filament runout sensor, and you do need to keep an eye on your filament. Without a filament runout sensor, you need to be cognizant of, I'm about to run out. So say, and I actually want to cut this off because there's something I want to show you guys. Cool. So say, and hold on, let me feed this through so I don't lose... and it gets tangled. Shout out to Monoprice for sponsoring this build. And I did it anyway. Oh, jerk. Cool. So, right here. Here you go. Filament, right? You're about to run out. Cool. And it's going, and it's going, and it's going. I will take the old spool off. Here's an empty spool, right? And typically, you can actually hear when it grabs and snaps. You'll hear it go just like whatever. Cut immediately. The end of your filament is typically bent to keep it in the roll. Cut that off. Get it nice and straight. And then I bend the very last little bit straight. So as it gets pulled through my let's see, can we where to go in, okay? We're gonna do this the full way. Okay, because I like you guys and I want to help you out. I'm gonna unscrew this. So there we go. All right, so my filament's getting pulled through, right? It's coming out, it's coming out. Ignore everything that's happening over here. This is the printer working. Your filament's coming through. Now I'll straighten it out so it passes through normally. Then I'll go load up my other spool, okay? Never stop the print. Again, cut the end off, make sure it's nice and flush. That shot out and hit the poster. And I'll bend it and make it as straight as possible. Okay? Straight-ish. Then, literally as this is printing, okay, I will touch the ends and I'll follow it in. And then what can happen is, so you follow it into the hole, and it might not make the jump, okay? So if this doesn't automatically start getting pulled in, just push your extruder arm a little bit, and then that's it. That's how you do a mid-print filament swap. As long as you get it past that extruder gear and it'll start getting sucked in, done. There'll be no gaps, there'll be no skips, anything. If you mess it up, If you can't get it in there, very quickly go down to your the little knob on your printer and just dial it all the way down to 10 real quick. And that slows the feed rate in the print enough for you to catch up and maybe pull this back out, straighten it down a little bit. Okay. And then push it right back in. That's it. It's actually pretty simple to do a mid-print filament swap. Now let me get this back in because I just damaged this. Okay, and there was another question I wanted to cover. Hopefully that explained it. And I do that on my CR10Ss, even though my Macs and my S's have runout sensors, and I'll still do that because I just don't like pausing prints. I try to avoid it when possible, and I'd rather the print just keep going because I don't like having to pause them and risk something going wrong. Sometimes the printer will think there's a thermal runaway when you're trying to reheat a resume print. And that's just no fun. But I want to show you guys something else real fast that might blow some of your minds. And hopefully at least one of you were like, oh my God, I never thought about that. And if you're in a rush, hold on, let me touch on that. Say your spool pops off and you're like, I gotta go, I gotta do something. I don't want to sit here and watch all of this filament come out. Cut it off. Cut it off right there. Feed your new stuff through. I keep a little arsenal of extra filament for when I do plastic welding. So this is all filament I cut off too early, and now I just have it on the side to do filling and repairing. So it's never a bad idea to have just a little stock of extra filament. Gyroid is king. Love the way you pronounce my name. Positive note. Learned a lot. What's your dissonance? Speaking of that sword, how would you go about to print a long blade like that on a CR10? That blade was printed on, all that was printed on a CR10, actually. I benchy every new roll just to make sure, hey, benching a roll is good. I print something else with every new roll that I can't show on here on my printer, but I don't know what to do when you get there. Not a question, just an observation. Shut up, Kayla. Mono Price PLA was awesome. Asgardian Stormbreaker is up. Yeah, Gyroid. Artillery Sidearm has a filament change option. I use it all the time. It's awesome for using old spools. A little bit left over to complete prints. Yep. Cut it at the point. The gear will grab it, and then better since the beginning is smaller. Yep, there you go. You can cut. Yeah, exactly. You can actually shave off a little edge. I've done that before. I've been told to use Gorilla Glue for gluing my PLA props together. That's terrible. Who told you that, Nephilim? PLA welding. Yeah, somebody dropped the PLA welding in there. Addison Hall, when will I make a Arduino tutorial? Right when I learn how to use Arduinos. I have no idea how. Cool. All right, some of you guys have probably ran into this problem before. How much filament is left on this roll? I don't know. I have no friggin' idea. It was full. It's not anymore. So, like, what do? Go get yourself like a cooking scale that can measure up to, preferably, 150 grams. And what you can do is turn it on. It's going to say 0, right? Hopefully, you have an empty roll of filament. Okay? Hopefully. Now, I don't know if they tell you. It'd be cool if they told you the weight of the spool on the spool. Like just the empty spool. This spool weighs 222 grams. Now, some scales have a tar value where you hit it and it zeroes out the weight that's already on there. So now it says 0 because it's calculating in the weight of this spool. Take it off. Oh, mine is 222. Put on my roll of filament. 771 grams. There is 771 grams left on this roll of filament. You can write it on a sticky note. You do whatever the hell you want to memorize that. But I don't know why it took me a year to literally think of this. And now, for future reference, I know that I can write that down too. My monoprice rolls that look like this weigh 222 grams. So now I no longer need to do the tar value or math. If I'm ever just sitting here and I have another scale, and this doesn't want to zero out. Zero out. What did I just do? Yep, oh, that's pounds. No one does that. So now it's a 0. Put it on there. 995 grams minus 220 grams. It'll get me about that same ballpark. This was like $8 on Amazon, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. And this lets you use up rolls, and yeah, it's pretty handy to have. What do we got? Arduino, what's that? Which Hot Toys Mark 85 did you decide to buy? Jorge Serrano. I went with the clean version. I didn't pre-order. I think this is pre-ordered. I paid for so I'm getting the clean version because the damaged version isn't out till September 2021. I had no idea. So hopefully by then I can save up enough to get that one too. Nearly bang on. Yep, no idea. Must be one of the brand new gadget genius. New fangled and doohickey. This is my new fangled and doohickey. I have a sheet with weights of empty spools I use for this reason. There you go. Word up, everybody. There is also holes on the side of reels that let you know halfway. That's not on every Oracle. That's not true. This has no holes on it. That's only some brands that do that. So if you have a brand that doesn't have the measurement holes, and those are only so accurate. So it's just a quick way to know exactly how much you have. There is no consistency with 3D printers yet. There is nothing. There is no governing authority. There is no rules and regulations on how rolls need to be made. Tell me what's in PLA Plus. You'll get about 10 different answers depending on where you look. And there's no regulation on what it needs to be. It's fun, and it's toxic. I'm kidding. It's not. Some spools have those circular cutouts and mismeasurements on it, but measuring with a scale is definitely more accurate. There are some mods that will tell you the weight of a roll as it prints. George Lake. What? That'd be cool. That would be cool. Imagine like a little upside down force gauge right here, right? That just like when you put it on there, it's at 1,000, and as it prints, it moves up. Ooh. Maybe not a program, but just literally an add-on spool holder that has a scale built into it. Somebody want to make some money? Overture. Overture is good because that's why they have that. Overture is good. That's fair. Making sure these aren't getting too hot. Yeah. Cool. Yep. All right. Cool. Moving on to some other things. This is going to be a 2-hour stream. So it uses Arduino. Nah, pass. Analog is the way to go. Common noob questions. That's next. And so we have about 20 minutes. I want like 20 minutes to talk about understanding. So we kind of went through some noob questions. Who here has ever asked somebody for their profile, their print filament profile? Hey man, that came out really smooth. What profile are you using? Hey man, what's your profile? What settings are you using? What's this? What's that? Who here's asked that before? Or seen somebody ask that before? Let's talk about that for a second. I want to talk about that because it leads us into some other things. Load cell sensor. Yeah, that'll work. While I wait for some questions or some of those answers, isn't this helmet nice? Look at this. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at it. That's it. I'm waiting. Definitely seen it on just about every Reddit post, like a meter stick wheel device for measuring you walk. Yeah, exactly. Weekly raise everyone. Thankfully, I've never asked for that, but I see it daily on Facebook. A lot are asking them. Okay, so while it can help you, asking for print profiles can be kind of dumb. Not in the sense that it won't help you, and I've seen people get good results from that. But there are so many variables with asking somebody for their print profile. Now, if you know that they also, show me your profile, yeah. Now, if you know that they have the exact same printer, exact same upgrades, they're using the exact same filament, they have all the same everything, they're preferably in the same time zone and elevation and temperature and the same humidity, that might work great for you. Now, if you're asking somebody for a very lightly modified profile, like, all they did was adjust infill and some support settings, that's fine. But what's that doing, really? It's kind of... Why is your head so big? That's my parents, I guess. While you're on the topic, what is your profile settings? That's what she... Kayla, stop. Yeah, spit it out. So, yeah. So you're asking people for profiles, asking to but they're not going to get that consistency. I'll literally tell people, oh, I printed this with a CR10S, and they're like, well, hey, can I have your print profile? It's like, well, I'm using a different size nozzle. I'm on a different printer. You're trying to print an Ender 3, and you live in a very humid climate. All these little factors affect your prints, everything. Even the ambient temperature in your room can affect it. What kind of table is it on? Are you printing on a really wobbly table? What if their printer is tuned in perfectly and yours isn't? What if their printer is not tuned in perfectly and yours is? There's a lot of there's too many variables, and I would kind of just deter you guys or caution against actually like asking people for their print profiles. Maybe asking for some more specific settings would be a little more beneficial, but if you start asking people for the profiles and say the worst thing it can do is work perfectly, I think that's the absolute worst thing that can happen. You ask somebody for the print profiles and you're asking for one of those print profiles, you get it, you download it, you install it, and it works perfectly. You learned nothing. You asked probably because your print was failing, right? You weren't getting good prints. Whatever the reason, you asked for a print profile for a reason, not because, man, my prints are coming out good, let me get your print. You wouldn't do that. You haven't learned anything, unfortunately. So that sucks. I think that's the same. I think that's the same mentality of you go to a casino and you're gambling, and the first thing you do is win. It's like, oh, well, that was easy. Like, you didn't learn anything. So I caution you guys against doing that. Try to learn while your print is failing. And I guarantee you, if you're having failure problems, if you're having adhesion, level, this, that, clocks, somebody else has asked it. And there's so many friggin' Facebook groups out there. Somebody has asked this question before, so please use them. Help with the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Please. They're already gunked up enough with a lot of bad questions. I got to see somebody post a long time ago. They were having a print problem, and they were printing, and nothing was coming out. Nice G-code, sliced it, they built the printer good, leveled, everything was great. And they were trying to print and nothing was happening, and everybody was asking them all the wrong questions. And then finally, he took a picture of the whole printer, and his printer looked like this. He had no filament. He didn't know the printer needed filament. It wasn't an Ender. It was like a MakerBot or like a Flash Forge, something that had a real self-contained roll of filament that you really can't see. He thought it just like you didn't have to put filament in it. Still pretty funny. If you have more questions about the stream or just want to get to the part of the great community, that was smooth. That was good. People need to realize 3D printing is a tinkerer's hobby. Yes, Chris Robertson. You got to get in there and mess with everything. Figure out yourself the quirks of the printer. I just have to drop that in once in a while. I built Star Boost, full boot, and leg. It's cool. Did you cut your pieces in order to save material, or do you try to print one piece? George Lake, I'm going to answer. That's a good one. We got a couple more minutes on this topic. Yes. Yes, Chris. Chris, I like you. It's best to use a standard Cura profile, calibration cube, and dial in your settings. I think I've spent more time fixing in my printer than actually printing. Cut it to make it faster. Sanding joints is easy. Yes. Just because I have a CR10 Max, and I have still never maxed out that build space. And I don't mean like a giant square. Like, I mean like I've not come close to maxing it out. Just because you can print big doesn't mean you should. If I was to print the back of this Mark 85, it would take more filament no matter how I position it. It takes more filament to support it than it does for the back plate. It was stupid. And I like to think I'm pretty good at positioning parts. I still couldn't get it under the 50-50 mark. It was like 60% filament for supports, and then the other 40% was the back plate. No, cut it. Yes, some people might be scared of welding and fusing seams. I'm literally about to go do it, and we're going to talk about finishing tricks in a minute. I literally just fused all this together with PLA welding. And that's it. Sand it down. Now, this was printed on the handle right here, the hilt. This was printed on my Ender. The handle was printed on my Ender. And this little gem at the bottom was printed on my Ender. And if anybody knows what this is, let me know. And then these cuts. This was on my Max. This was on my CR10S. This was on my CR10S. And this didn't need to be printed on my Max. I just did it. So just because you can print big doesn't mean you always should. Always think about, now if you don't have to worry about filament, if you don't care, if you're just whatever, willy-nilly about it, by all means, burn the support. I'm funding this whole hobby by myself, so Well, not really by myself anymore. You guys are helping. Sorry, I want to rephrase that. But like, I try to save filament. I don't like seeing that much waste. I'm seeing just how little waste I can get with Star Boost. Right now, I'm barely over 1 kilogram, and I'm almost done with the thing. I think I have some more time. Blah, 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 try to cut pins from the surface. Hey, Raymond. I want to try some flexible filament, but I'm under 3. Is there tricks? You have to print some. Jorge Sanchez. Well, that's a lot to talk about. Thank you, Frank. You actually. Hey, no problem, Mohan. I'm doing 3D printing. I'm trying to tune my prints. Is there a string? But I've done most of the tuning. That's good. I've maxed out my volume on CR10. Also, the most inherent issue printing larger big print. A chance of failure. Exactly. I will always try to mitigate risks. There's a print. I wish Cura could actually put into the software print survivability. I wish there was just like a percentage. You know how when you type in a password on a website and it's like your password's weak or medium or strong, or I wish Cura had a setting that could evaluate the survivability chances of a print. Just because it looks good and it's tall, or it's good, you have supports, but it's like a 9-day print, or maybe it's positioned kind of weird and you have one really tall, skinny support. That's a low survivability rate. That support's probably not going to make it. It's going to start giving you some weird spaghetti. It's going to collide. It's going to cause problems. Now, that is probably some like computer learning kind of shit that you might need to look into. I don't think Cura will ever have something like that, but it would still be pretty cool. The Z Sword. No, this is the Z Sword from Dragon Ball Z. Yep. Hey. Well, so you're telling me not to print so big. Welding is something you just need to jump into. Yes. It's the Z Sword. You should make every print tiny, no bigger than no failure. Yep. My friend has started. Hey, speaking of Stormbreaker. Here's Stormbreaker. This was printed. The only part of this that didn't fit on my CR10s was this. The blade. The way I wanted to position it, left and right, it didn't fit on my CR10s. So this is the first part I put on my Max that wouldn't fit on my CR10. Now, when positioning prints, what I'll always look for, and I think this is something you guys should really consider when printing stuff, how is your printer gonna move? Now, here, let's do this. Stormbreaker comes apart. Now, obviously, this is a tall, skinny print. This is a wide, tall print, right? Now, not that I would ever print this. Get that shit out of here. Maxed out. Cool. Not that I would ever print this on an Ender 3. But, consider the following. If I was to print it like this, what's going to do most of the work? My nozzle is going to go left and right, left and right. It's going to print this way. And my bed's only going to move in and out that much. Not much at all, right? So my bed is going to move in and out, in and out, in and out. Still not that bad. But now what if I print it like this? My nozzle's going to do a little bit of work, but my bed, oh boy, my bed's going to move a lot back and forth. It's going to have to move this entire distance. And eventually, just naturally, what's going to happen, it's going to wobble, especially if you're trying to print faster. And I try to print decently fast. So one thing when positioning prints, exactly like this sword, by the way, I didn't print it like this. I printed it along the x-axis. So really my Y was only moving 10, 15 millimeters forward and back, forward and back. Now if I tried to print it the other way, my bed's just going to keep wobbling and moving. So you want to think about how you want to make one axis do more work than the other. That's something always to consider. Now something on like a helmet, it's round, you're really not going to get away with something like that. I think that does it for that thing. Yep. My friend, what techniques do you use to restore lines and details on the helmets and armor after printing or paint? How long was your longest print? My max is always 24 hours. My longest print is 4.5 days on my max. My longest print is 43. Starburst is 35. Wow, Oracle, you win that one. Yeah. Hey. If you guys are getting into prop making and you're worried about losing detail lines on your prints, go out and get yourself a Tamiya Plastic Scriber 2. I don't know what happened to the first one. Apparently it was a failure. So a Tamiya Plastic Scriber. Or take an old X-Acto knife that's broken and use the back of it. And what this does, yeah, cool, awesome. What this does is as you start to add, build up layers of paint and stuff, right? This panel scriber, it's a little sharp edge, not like a razor, because I can actually touch this, and it's pokey, but it's not bad. What this does is, let's see, let's get a good line. There we go, right in there. This actually goes and pulls and scrapes and scribes in new lines. I used this exact thing all friggin' over this suit when the paint started to build up, when I wanted to get detail lines back in, when I wanted to add black detail lines. You can use this to make new details. I use this thing all the time. This coupled with the back side of a razor actually is great for clearing out gunk and just pulling out paint and filament. If you're having stringing and you can't actually get into some of those spots, you're having artifacts or whatever, doing that with the back of a razor can really help clean out your lines. And you can get creative with painter's tape and modeler's tape, and you can actually go in and lay down new patterns and then actually go with your panel scriber and cut new lines into the parts. That's a trick from Gundam models. You add details, you add more stuff to it by cutting in new lines. You can actually use this to cut parts in half. The same way you actually cut like acrylic or plastic or even glass, where you score it and then snap it. You can do that with 3D prints. It works pretty effectively, actually. So if you're getting into prop making or trying to actually start like cleaning and painting your prints, it's a very handy tool to have. And now I just have a stick. That's it. All right, I think that might be it. Star Boost helmet, 195. I have no clue what printer he is using right now. What did you just print? I just started my one. Just a paper wastebasket, or your lines are wide enough. Yeah, cool. So it's 9:22. How does this go back on? This goes back on this way. Sorry, want to rebuild Stormbreaker. That was just an axe. That's it. This is just Stormbreaker. Yeah. I'm glad I made this thing come apart because I think it's just more fun to play with. And then goes in there. There we go. For Asgard, little Mark 85. I will carry this around Comic-Con one day, in the Mark 85, with the Infinity Gauntlets, with Cap's shield on my back. Wouldn't that be fun? While holding the Buster Sword, why not? Okay. I was gonna ask the details due to my daggers for Loki. I'm gonna have paints for. Yeah, well, hopefully that helps you. Yeah. I'll talk 7 minutes about upgrades, and then I will. Then we'll actually go into a general Q&A and call it a day. Yeah. All right. Upgrades. If you don't understand why you're upgrading it, don't do it. That's it. Like, don't do it. If somebody's telling you to get an upgrade, but either they aren't explaining why, they're just telling you, don't do it. If you get an upgrade and you didn't really understand what the point of that was, why you needed it, where was the fit, like what incited you to do that? The plastic extruder on Creality printers sucks. It breaks. As this gear moves back and forth, what happens is, down right under here, it'll crack. Well, guess what? Metal's not going to crack. So that's one reason to do that. Your Bowden tube, the stock white Bowden tube kind of sucks. As it blows out, as you do more research, you will learn that it's not good quality, and then upgrading to a better PTFE Capricorn tube is much better for your printer. You understand why you're doing it. Adhesion problems with your bed. Maybe the glass isn't working for you. It didn't work for you. Why are you getting that actual upgrade? Now, there's plenty of vanity upgrades, like, the spool holder up here, and then a filament runout sensor, or a little thing to spin while your printer works, like camera mounts and cable chains. Those are fine. But people who, upgrade your board. Immediately upgrade your board. Oh, get this. Oh, don't get stepper dampeners, upgrade your board. Or get a better power supply, upgrade your hot end. Like, why? I have stock hot ends on all 4 of my printers, and I see zero reason to upgrade because I haven't needed to yet. So take the time to learn the stock machine before you start asking or worrying about upgrades. And you're going to learn those failure points. And yeah, you might have 1 or 2 failures in between there. You might have a nozzle blowout. It's gonna happen. It's like a rite of passage. Your first spaghetti, and you're like, well, shit, it's time to fix that. Understanding why you might want stronger bed springs down here. So these are upgraded bed springs. There's just a lot of little things that go into it, but understanding the printer and how it operates really keys you in on what upgrades matter to you. Now, if your printers are in a garage or in a shed or a whole different part of your house, who cares if they're silent? Like, you might never give a shit at all about having a silent, quiet printer. Well, these printers were sitting right here on my floor and like on a table, and our living room's right down below. We could hear them. So getting quieter printers kind of became a little bit of a priority. So people throwing silent boards at you when you might not need them, people throwing new, power supplies and hot ends, you might not need them. So just understand what you're getting yourself into with that. Boop. I was going to ask you, I hope to meet you at a Comic-Con one day. If I ever do, hey, Little Nephilim, you should go. I'm trying to go there. I need to learn to calibrate software. Yes, I use car wax. I use McGuire's Gold Class. The only wax for me. Sponsor me. I actually use 3 things. After I clear coat, I take automotive rubbing compound. Great stuff. Sorry, I'll clear coat it, wet sand it with 2000 grit, and that gives it a little bit of a haze, but it knocks it down smooth. I'll use rubbing compound and buff it. I'll use super resin polish from Autoglim. I just like this stuff. It gives it a nice shine. And then I wax it. That entire suit is waxed with McGuire's Gold Class. It helps keep the paint nice and shiny. It actually helps it keep scratching just a little bit of durability. Doesn't get as dirty, and damn, it looks good. Yeah. I've been running it since. Would you ever recommend a direct drive upgrade, or in general just say no to it? Chris Robertson, my opinion on that is if it came Bowden, keep it Bowden. If it came direct drive, it came direct. I have yet to see somebody prove to me that direct drive is better, aside from speed. That's it. Oh, you can print faster. I don't really care. I don't crap. I've seen people spend hundreds of dollars and hours and days of troubleshooting to get their direct drive to work, and then they'll pop out their first print and it looks exactly the same as their Bowden setup. And I'm like, what did you just do? Like, you just broke your printer intentionally. You just complicated a system that already worked. I don't agree with that. I can't stand my Sidewinder. How about you resolve clog? How have you resolved clogged nozzles? I clean them. PC, I think you might have missed that open the beginning segment of that. If your nozzle clogs, it's because your Bowden tube probably separated from the back end of your nozzle. Heat it, take your Bowden tube out, heat everything up, and start cleaning it out with your little nozzle cleaner, the little needle that came with your printer. Start cleaning that out. Yeah. How would you get your parts to not smell like spray paint? That's a matter of just letting it dry. If your parts are still giving off a spray paint smell, they're actually not fully cured, and then eventually the smell will dissipate. These don't smell like spray paint, they smell like wax. Like, this just smells like car wax. You have to let them dry. Rust-Oleums take a little bit. If you're using that type of spray paint, they take a little bit to dry. Yeah. I'll have to try the Americo, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So I think that does it for upgrades. I think that does that for some of the common issues. Post-processing and finishing. I can talk days. I might have to say that for the next live stream, where I'm going to try to set up in my garage and show you guys how to actually sand and smooth and paint parts. I think that's going to be next live stream. How to get rid of things like where my supports were. This is a big one. Like, how to cover this all up, because this used to look like that. Like, not bad, decent. This one I didn't spend as much time on, so you can actually just see. You can see like a little bit right there. See that? I didn't fill that in all the way, and you can kind of see where the supports were. This is going to be a battle damaged helmet, so I don't care. Yeah, and actually, you can see there's a big crack right there that I had to fill in. Whatever, it's going to get damaged. It'll look fine. So yeah, I think we might save that. I think we're going to close out with just a Q&A, a general Q&A. Doesn't need to be noob questions. It can be questions about literally anything. If you could try to keep them pertinent to this topic, that'd be cool, but I won't fault you for not. While you guys start typing those, I'm going to do some other things, like say join the Discord. We're almost up to 300 members. Thank you, everybody who's joined. Holy crap. That got out of hand quick. The Discord is great because I think everybody does a pretty good job at keeping it relevant, and I haven't seen too much misinformation. There has been just a little bit, but people usually like talk that person through why that might not be the best solution. Like, you guys talk to each other, and it's great. Like, it's so awesome seeing that and having, like, being able to watch you guys interact. Because I like I said, like when before I started the Discord, there were so many of you that I would talk to every day and just get information from or to, and we talk, and I'm like, damn, like, I really wish you could, because I talked to you about this problem already, and now you're asking me about this problem. I wish you two could just. And that's what the Discord is. It's all these people who we've all bounced the ideas off of and troubleshot all this stuff. And you're all kind of now in the same spot, which is great. And I love it. So keep that up. Thank you for helping that. We're trying to make that better. Yeah. You can stop worrying, guys. The doctor is in. Boop, boop. How do you orient the main helmet to print? I orient my prints. So, oh, hey. Basically, all the Iron Man helmets I print, they come in 3 parts. The faceplate, the jaw, and the helmet. Stand your faceplate up. I have a video on this, by the way, so go watch that afterwards. I stand the faceplate up. I lay the jaw down like that, and then I print the main dome like a bowl. And then the only supports I need are here at the bottom. I print it literally just like that. It works. I will never print a helmet like that. I won't. I refuse to do it. It is a waste of filament. I'd rather spend a little bit of time having to sand the back and fill it than have to waste so much filament on the inside. Whereabouts do I live in the UK? I live near Bury St. Edmunds. What is the meaning of life in 3D printing? The meaning of life is to 3D print. What? Come on, Tony. What is the Discord? What is the status of the Hulk Buster community project from last week? PC Wizard, don't worry about that. Join the Discord and you'll find out. I'm not starting that project at all until this is done. Until I am wearing this and I'm happy with it and it's finished. Period. What do you use to fill your gaps and seams? I use plastic. I weld in extra plastic and sand them down. Wood filler, and then for touching up small holes, wood filler. Oh, here it is. I like having this table here. I use this stuff. Wood filler. Cheap, easy, sands away. Don't use wood filler to hide full seams on large parts. It will crack your paint. Don't do it. Wood filler. Did you square your printers? No. Hive mind resistance is futile. Frank, has anyone told you that you look like a lot like Sam Witwer? Never gotten that one. I recently got a lot of Andrew Garfield because I posted the picture of me in half of the suit holding the helmet on Reddit, and a lot of people said Andrew Garfield. Somebody told me that I talk and sound like John Mayer. That was a new one, but then I watched a couple interviews of him, and I get that. I was like, oh, wow, oh, God, okay. What are you going to do that 3D pen tutorial? When I get a 3D pen. I don't have one. I don't need one. Because I have my handy dandy soldering iron. This thing built the West. Hey, no problem. Kayla, now you're just sucking up. Don't do that. Yep. Q&A, guys. Go ahead. Hit some questions. Got me for a little bit longer. We'll make this a 2-hour one. Yep. Yep. Is that Mark 80? Which Mark 85? Which one? I have like 9. I literally have 3 different ones sitting on the table. And then there's a 4th one behind me in the display case. I didn't drop it. You dropped it. Hey, battle damage. Do you use a tool or do you buff and wax by hand? Oh, I buff and wax by hand. They're not big enough to warrant that. What's your favorite printer so far? My favorite printer is hands down my CR10S. It is awesome. It is freaking awesome. Yoink. This is the Thingiverse Mark 85 version 1. This is the CG Trader Akira Yuming one. This one, yeah, these are the same ones. Damn it. These are the CG Trader helmets. By Akira Yuming, they are the most accurate helmets I have ever seen for the Mark 85. They are beautiful. They match that. Look at that. Look at those eyes. Look at those freaking eyes, man. Like, this helmet is just wicked. I love it. What's your dream car? I have a lot. Also, how do you print or what do you use for the eye inlays? I'm not understanding that one, Daniel. Try that again. Like what are these or what is the detail in the eyes? Weird life in the UK? Nothing. It's pre-America? I don't know. It's pretty much the same. I got some filament from Amazon that sucks. Would you suck it up and just throw it away or try it? Dude, get a refund. Best thing from Nando's. I'm not a big Nando's fan. The butterfly chicken sandwich thing is pretty good. How pinched do your ears get in the helmets? Not too pinched. You look like Anthony Kiedis. Shut up, Kayla. I know why you said that. Actually, oh, there we go. This is the rest of the live stream. Can you guys still hear me? It's much quieter in here. Yes, I can still read the screen. I can read it pretty well, actually. Has your wife seen Endgame yet? No, she has not. Kayla has not seen Endgame yet. Want to explain why, sweetie? I guess what material do you use and how can you see? They're pre-made LED eyes. Yep. Like I can see, the screen especially I can see perfectly. It's actually really good. Does the helmet need to be that smooth before painting? Yes, it does. Oracle Cave, you shut up. No, I could not weld this jaw and it would not fit anymore. Yeah, this is very tight. This is as tight. This is 65% from CG Trader, and this could not fit me any tighter. I need to add some more magnets because you can see the ears, they want to pop out. But some helmets, you have to sacrifice how well it fits for being able to wear it properly. Now that my hair is sufficiently messed up. No, my product. Okay, this one's fun. Dink, dink. Good hinge system. It's just hinges. There's no servos on this one. Okay, Mark. If it is not this smooth in your primer stage, painting it will make it worse. Paint will not hide your imperfections. Take your time in your primer stage. Isn't that cool? Little trigger switch in there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you next week. I'm kidding. So kidding. Okay, what do we got? What made you want to build the Mark 85? It's awesome. I loved Endgame. I've always been an Iron Man fan, and my dad got me into it. And happy Father's Day to anybody who's a father. And love you, Dad. How is that possible, Kayla? Watch Endgame. It's great. Yeah, Kayla, how is that possible? Oh, Chris, it prints easier, I think. PLA Plus. The eyepieces are from Amazon. I have a video on that too. Search cosplay LED eyes. The eyepiece is not made from resin, Oracle. It's a pre-made kit. What about Thingiverse? I plan on printing 95 or 96. Haven't gotten to examine it yet, but what? Doctor, I would print it at 100% and see how it fits, and then take it from there. Have you seen Chow's build Iron Man, or are you going to be taking? Yeah, I hate those wings. I think those wings are so friggin' ugly. They got less screen time than Black Widow's sandwich. You know the sandwich she's eating when she's talking to Steve, and then Ant-Man shows up and eats it, and he's talking to them about time travel while he's eating it? That sandwich had more screen time and actually did something. It gave Nat and it gave Black Widow and Ant-Man nutrition. It helped them and sustained them. That lightning refocuser, the big dumb backpack thingy, did nothing. It was this cool epic moment, and it did zero. That sandwich did more for the Avengers than the stupid backpack thingy. And it's ugly, and it doesn't look good on the suit. That's all I'll say about that. Favorite MCU, my favorite MCU films, and least favorite? My favorite has to be, I loved Endgame, but story-wise, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier or Civil War. Beautiful. Least favorite, Thor 2. Because if you've seen it, you know why. Adios, Tony. Thank you for tuning in, man. You've never seen the films? Wow, you're in for a treat. I'm sure it would have if Tony knew Thanos had that, but yeah, I know. What? Like, I mean, he just spun his blade and knocked it away. It was just like, you've been building up this thing between Whiplash hitting Tony with electricity, then Tony in Avengers reconstituting his suit to be able to absorb electricity and eat Thor's lightning blast, to eventually being able to refocus Thor's lightning blast, and not even the normal Thor lightning blast, Thor's upgraded super don't need my weapon lightning blast while holding Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, and hit him. This is like full strength Thor, whether he was fat or not. This is like the strongest Thor has ever been, hitting Tony, refocusing his lightning, combining it with his new Badassium Mark 6 arc reactor and the new element core, hitting Thanos with it, and Thanos was just like, nah, get away. Yeah. It was dumb. Surely the Hulk movies would have been worse than Thor 2. Well, alright, the first Hulk movie, Hulk from 2003, isn't canon. It's just terrible. I see what they were trying to do, and they did it bad. It looked like Beetleborgs, if everyone remembers that show. The original Hulk, yeah, it's close. It's pretty close. I like Age of Ultron. My friend got me into the MCU after taking me to the Avengers back in 2012. That's awesome. Do you know if there's a way to load a G-code on Nakura and lower the build to make it easier to save failed prints, or should I just cut the model file? There is a way to do that, Chris. There is a way to restart. You have to edit the G-code and know exactly where it failed, unfortunately. There's a way to do it and a trick to do it so it starts printing exactly where it left off. I am not there yet in my 3D printing life. Listen, Oracle. Would you guys want to do a full stream where we just talk about MCU movies, like trivia, and we can maybe do like a game or something? I'll find like really, really obscure shit in the movies, and we'll like what color shirt was Nat wearing in this scene when she hit on Bruce? White. Like, would you guys be interested in something like that? I don't know. I have a lot of stream ideas. I don't know how much you guys enjoy these streams. Yes. In 10 minutes, I'm going to start doing my outro and talking about other things, because I know we're very derailed. How many viewers have we lost? We went from 54 to 48, so we still got some of you. Thank you. This is actually one of my most, except for the giveaways, which you had 100 at one time, but those are just people being greedy. Yep. Doing that on the Discord could work. So reorient and pray. Gotcha. I'm out for tonight. Take it easy, Remco. Cool. Cool. She does. She wants to do a Jack in the Box game night with the Discord, so we're working on that. That would be kind of fun. A casual stream about movies can be fun. Yes. I know I haven't been uploading as much content. Let me talk about that for a second. Like I said, I'm trying to finish this thing. I'm going to try to film 2 videos next week. I only uploaded 1 this week. So I want to start getting more videos up for you guys. You guys have been patient, and I appreciate the support. So we'll figure that out. We'll definitely figure that out. And I have so many other projects like this. There is no other Z-Sword STL file. This is it. The one on Thingiverse is garbage. It's a PEP file. So this is currently the only STL file for the Z-Sword that exists. And I'm doing a video on this. I was kind of keeping it secret, and obviously it still is kind of a secret. Only people who watch this will know about it. Yeah, Jackbox stream party. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do something like that. So. Oh, the Buster Sword's done, by the way, if you guys haven't seen that. I wrapped the handle, finished the gold. It looks really cool. I'm proud of that thing. How do you get your prints so smooth? Skills and sanding. Mostly sanding. Yep. Me and my friends have been making all these random theories on why Loki looks a little like Hela. There is a theory going around that he is Hela's son. Why isn't the sword painted yet? Because I'm working on this damn thing. Leave me alone. Okay? I don't need your... Stop bullying me. You're starting your first print today. You better post in the Discord. You know, that Discord that everybody can join, that Discord that is free to everybody and offers tons of support for the community, and everybody wants to get started in the 3D print. It can also help expand people's knowledge in other types of 3D printing areas. Even if you've been printing for a while, and you can come to the Discord and aid to the community and grow and teach people. That Discord, yeah, post in there. I like the Discord. I'm happy. I'm proud of it. It's a cool thing. Facts. For Star Boost, what mechanism are we going to use to wear it? Straps. Buckles and straps. In the mood for a rant, there's something in Iron Man 3 that makes no sense to me. Go ahead, Penguin, let's do it. I picked my PLA brand because Sunlu was the cheapest on Amazon UK, and I liked it. But Sunlu is discontinuing their PLA Plus, so now I switched to monoprice. And they gave me 15 rolls for free. So I like them a lot. And their stuff, this is monoprice. And it's great. It's great for Asgard. Penguin, I'm waiting. You got 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I kind of want to turn the lights off. They've been on for a while, but I have to stick my hand up Iron Man's butt. How much time does it take you to sand a helmet? This helmet was sanded in about 20 minutes? Maybe? Probably 10. The 85s I can do pretty quick. Say 15. We'll meet in the middle. Is there a review of the monoprice PLA Pro out yet? Travis, what do you mean? The PLA Pro? Why the hell the president was put in a fully powered and functional Iron Patriot suit? In the last scene with all the suits, Igor goes to stabilize the entire structure so that it doesn't fall and continue to stay there. Tony then blows up all the suits, but the structure never falls. Listen, Jarvis knew very well that he couldn't detonate all the parts in the suits. He's a very advanced AI, and he wouldn't have detonated Igor until it was time. I hate you. How dare you do this to me? Oh, I just got a suggestion. Why do I get these? Pinterest. Damn it, Google Chrome. Yeah, Burning Remains of Igor. Let's go with that one. I got nothing for that one. Sorry. You have me in a corner there. Then again, if that's your only problem with that movie, that's actually not that bad. There was some other things in that movie. There were some other issues, but whatever. We'll deal with it. Well, he blew up the one like 2 feet from them, so I can't imagine Jarvis thought. I don't know. I don't know. Deal with it. It's a movie. You must be fun at parties. Shouldn't this weigh as much as a planet? Something. I don't know how we set up weird like things like that because like we could do it on Netflix. Oh no, we'd have to do Disney Plus. Maybe. Can we add a film and movie game area in the Discord? Maybe a spoiler area too? We'd love to talk more Marvel and recent video games that came out a couple days. That might. Yeah, that kind of is what the general chat is for. Because we tried the random miscellaneous part of the Discord and that got a little it was no point, you know. It turned into just a general chat. So I think that's why we have 3 chats. So if people are kind of blowing up one, you can move down and move to another. Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah. So everything's winding down. I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in and joining. We're losing viewers, you know, because not a lot of people care about this, and I get that. So thank you very much for joining and tuning into this. I really appreciate it. I tried to have this one. I'm trying to build the structure up and get them a little bit more like manageable and interesting. I do have a lot of ideas planned for just streams, and I'm going to continue to try to stream every Sunday. Things are still getting back to normal, but I like spending my Sunday like this. It's fun. I like talking to you guys, interacting with you guys, and hopefully I can get more interesting things to share with you guys. I love this. I have a lot. I know shit have about 50 video ideas that I want to film that aren't just tutorials, that are some other fun things. This right now is priority 1. This needs to be done. I figured out the bicep thing. I'm still working on the hip. Like that's obviously not the new cod piece. It doesn't fit on the stand. It's over there. Getting it. I need to be able to walk in it. I ripped out a lot of the electronics. There's no more repulsors in the hands. The wires and the arms are all gone because I'm committed to redoing that. So there's a lot going on with this thing. I'm still trying to close up gaps. I have somebody working on some parts, and there's some stuff going on. So thank you. Please stay tuned. Hang in there. I'm back to posting normally on Instagram. Just giving you guys updates there. The Discord's going great. I don't think I'm doing a giveaway contest in July, and if I do, it might be patron only because it's going to be small. So if you guys are interested, the only time I'm going to push the Patreon is at the end. If you guys are interested in more support, if my videos have helped you, you're like, damn, that sanding tutorial was dope. Maybe give a look at my Patreon. It'd be really cool. It has started to help pay for a lot of this. Like, this is great. I already don't have to sell helmets for like the next month or 2. Like, I can focus on this. I'm about to ship out my last batch of helmets for a while, and then I can start making some of these other cool one-off projects. And what I might start doing is when I do these one-offs, the Z-Sword, Stormbreaker, Secret Project 5, 6, and 7, I'll make 2 of them and give one away. And that can start being the giveaways, because if you guys are funding these cool projects and letting me, I've always wanted the Z-Sword. I have it now, and that's because of you guys. That's because the Buster Sword video did so good, and the guy who made the Buster Sword, 3D Dutchie, contacted me and was like, hey man, thanks for the business. You got me a lot of sales. Do you want me to model you anything? Now I have a Z-Sword, and he's making me some other cool shit. So it all stacks and builds. Monoprice would have never looked at me if I didn't have this suit and you guys didn't help me share and, you know, let me share this with you guys and like it and all this stuff. So this is all because of you. So being able to give back to you guys, like, I like it. DO3D, there's the DO3D affiliate program, which is great right now. Oh my God, keep buying models. For the love of God, keep using that affiliate link, please. So thank you. I'm trying to funnel the money you guys are kind of giving to me. I'm trying to funnel it back into this. I don't want to just pocket it and be like, haha, whatever. like I like doing this, so hopefully I can continue to share that with you guys. And I hope I never lose sight of that, because like this means absolute jack squat without you guys. I'm very aware of that. If you guys don't like watching me, or don't like the content, or don't like what I'm doing, you won't watch, and then none of this happens. I'm just some weirdo with an Iron Man suit, and I don't want to be some weirdo with an Iron Man suit. I want to be that cool guy with an Iron Man suit. Oh, I swear that was off. So thank you, Chris Martin. Thank you. You're awesome. You're awesome. The new con piece is done printing. I still need to trim it. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, right there and right there, it damaged the paint, and I'm mad, but whatever, we'll figure it out. These streams are fun, man. That and just chatting in the Discord, audience participation. Ha! Yeah, right. Never fix my phone. Sort of like, I want to become a patron, but I can't afford it. Don't worry about it. My Patreon does not take content away. It does not limit content. It only enhances experience more with me, and it gives you access to some bonus stuff. Nothing you already watch will ever be limited. I promise you that. And if I, for some reason, ever change, show me these live streams and call me a friggin' sellout. Please do. Shame me. Like, please. You guys jumping into Frank's workshop after this, or calling it a night? I don't know if I'm going to be on the workshop or I'm going to go on Instagram. I usually like going on Instagram live immediately after these, because since it's 10 p.m. UK time, it starts when people start getting home and settling down. Sunday night in the States, like 3, 4, 5 p.m. And I can kind of get them and interact with them. Or the Discord, I don't know. I'll probably be on Instagram live just cleaning all this up and putting this all back together. I also have to film a video of this for somebody. Long story. Yeah. And I think that's it. Thank you. You guys rock. I'm glad we figured out the mic audio issue. So sorry about that in the beginning. I still don't know what caused it. That's really weird. I might have to set up some test streams and start messing with some of this stuff, because that was really annoying. I don't know what was causing that. I didn't have anything else on. I have a boom mic right here, and I'm wondering if that was feeding back. We'll find out. Ooh, is somebody blowing me up right now? The Discord. The Discord is blowing my phone up, so that's cool. Thanks. I'm not very good at driving. What? Oh, oof. I got that. Sorry. So, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I did just hit 4K subs, and we're at 4,300, I think. Something like that. Let me do some math. Where am I at? We're on the internet. Yeah. I am live now. Thank you for giving me that notification, you son of a... Wow, we're all at... Wow. 4,340. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. So, I think with that, we'll sign off. Thank you for watching. Join the Discord. It's awesome. Follow me on Instagram. My Twitter's useless. I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do with that. And have a good night. And keep on 3D printing shit. Or at least watching my videos because you like them, I guess. Yeah. Thanks. Have a good night.